Alright, the easiest way to remember a lot of the details about the hamstrings is to think of it like this. According to official hamstring criteria, we have 3 true hamstrings and 1 fake one. The good news is that this imposter can help us remember a lot of these details going forward. So what are the true hamstrings? Well, according to the criteria, the true hamstrings all have the same origin, innervation, and actions, and include the semimembranosus, the semitendinosus, and the long head of the biceps femoris. So let's go over these 3 muscles real quick. The semimembranosus, like all the true hamstrings, originates off the ischial tuberosity right here. When you think of the true hamstrings, think of the ischial tuberosity. The semimembranosus then runs down and inserts on the medial condyle of the tibia. So this is the only real place it can attach to. It's not long enough to go to the anterior side, it's not long enough to go over to lateral, so it inserts right here on the medial tibial condyle. Running on top of the semimembranosus, we have the semitendinosus. And you can remember this by thinking that the semimembranosus with a B is on the bottom and the semitendinosus with a T is on top. The semitendinosus is named because it has a very long stringy tendon. And since it has this long tendon, it can run down and sneak all the way to the anterior part of the tibia. So it inserts right here on the medial anterior part of the tibia at a place called the pes anserine. And if you've seen my earlier videos, you know the longest muscle from each thigh compartment inserts right here. So the semitendinosus is the longest hamstring, so it inserts right here, along with the gracilis, the longest muscle from the medial compartment, and the sartorius, the longest muscle in the entire body from the anterior compartment. Now that covers the 2 medial muscles. If we jump over to the lateral side, we find the 2 heads of the biceps femoris. One quick tip, if you're having trouble remembering which side these muscles are on, just remember the biceps femoris is on the side closest to your other biceps, the biceps brachii. So it's on the lateral side closest to your arm and closer to the other biceps, the biceps brachii. The long head of the biceps femoris is a true hamstring, so we know it originates off the ischial tuberosity. It then runs down and blends together with the short head of the biceps femoris. The short head of the biceps femoris is sometimes considered a fake hamstring because it doesn't meet any of the official hamstring criteria. So when you think of the short head, remember it's the fake hamstring, and that can remind you that it originates off the femur. So the fake hamstring originates off the femur, more specifically right here off the inferior lateral edge of the linea aspera. So these 2 heads come together, they run down and then blend together and insert on the head of the fibula. So you can remember this by thinking of the phrase head to head. So we have the long head and the short head merging together and insert on the head of the fibula. So the short head and the long head go head to head and insert on the head of the fibula. For the innervation, this true versus fake hamstring trick helps us again. Now all the hamstrings are innervated by the sciatic nerve, but here's the tricky part. The sciatic nerve is really 2 nerves wrapped in one sheath. There's the tibial branch and the fibular branch, which together make up the sciatic nerve. What happens is they run down, the sciatic nerve runs down all the way, and then right before it reaches the knee, they split apart. So the tibial branch of the sciatic nerve continues on as the tibial nerve, while the fibular branch of the sciatic nerve continues on as the common fibular nerve. And even though they travel together in one nerve all the way up the femur, they do different things. The true hamstrings with a T are all innervated by the tibial branch of the sciatic nerve, while the fake hamstring with an F is innervated by the fibular portion of the sciatic nerve. Finally, for the actions, all the hamstrings, since they insert past the knee down here, they can all pull and help with knee flexion. The true hamstrings, since they originate at the ischial tuberosity, if you're in hip flexion, they can pull, if you imagine them pulling like this, and they can help with hip extension. So to summarize things, our true hamstrings with a T originates off the ischial tuberosity, they're innervated by the tibial portion of the sciatic nerve, and they perform hip extension and knee flexion. Our fake hamstring originates off the femur, it's innervated by the fibular portion of the sciatic nerve, and it can only perform knee flexion. So just remember the true versus fake hamstring trick, and you'll be able to remember these details for years to come. As always, thanks for watching, and of course, good luck on your next test.